It's easy to forget the perception coming into the year for this Detroit Pistons team. I mean, if you're a fan like me who's watched every single game, the 14-win season is forever engraved, burned into your memory. You'll never forget it. But let's say you're a Mavericks fan who's had to deal with the season from hell, Luka getting traded, Kyrie getting hurt. I mean, really everyone that could play for you has gotten hurt this year. You're now in the play-in. You have Anthony Davis. It's a sad time. And you're seeing the Pistons over there. Oh, Cade Cunningham's looking nice. I'm jealous of them. Don't be jealous, because what we've had to deal with is not fun. But you're not remembering that. But we're going to be looking back at Reddit, home of the sanest people on the internet. We're going to be taking a look at some people's predictions and what they thought this season would look like for Detroit. Welcome to the Leggy Sports YouTube channel. If you didn't check out last episode, it was the first edition of the 313 Connect podcast with my co-hosts, Sean Murphy, credentialed Pistons beat writer for the Detroit Pistons, and Brennan Sims, blog writer for a bunch of different blogs. Great content on there. Make sure you check that one out. Getting right into it. Cade gets a little all-star buzz, maybe makes it as an alternate Jalen Duren rebounding title. Also, THJ has an 0 for 10 from 3 game into a 40-point game. He had a 32-point game this year, but the things before are what we're going to be focusing on with this one. Cade does get all-star buzz. He didn't make it as an alternate. He made it as an official member of the all-star team, and this all-star format was disgusting. He didn't play a lot of minutes. You're talking about G Leaguers getting more run, more shine on national television than Cade Cunningham, who turned this team around, has turned this franchise around. It actually makes me sick. I hope they go back to the regular way they played the All-Star game before. Jalen Duren didn't get the All-Star title, or the rebounding title, sorry. Top 10, though, at number 8 with 10.3. That's nothing to scoff at. It's a pretty good one. Ivy legitimizes himself. If you're looking at the numbers, I mean, he's the quote, second highest in points per game, but you're also talking about only in a 30-game sample size, but at 17.6. You're talking about, and it doesn't show it on here, he had he had like a career renaissance from 3, and that's something that goes a long way when talking about how this team can get better, is if Jaden Ivey can come back and have that consistent 3-point ball. Copy and paste from the last couple of years. Win mid to high 30s, complete for the play-in majority of the year, see some development from the young guys. This organization has to make a leap and raise expectations at some point, right? Well, they did. That fan is happy because they were close. I mean, mid to high 30s, they were a bit above that, 44 wins. This other team player said, what am I talking about? This other guy said, if they can get to 30 to 35 wins, I consider it progress. It's hard to tell because Monty is... Yeah, we're not going to say that on here. But, I mean, we're talking about 30 to 35 wins being progress. Well, 44 wins for you. This person said from 14 to 41, that's the closest, and it has only 6 upvotes on here. Less than 30 wins. Big improvement, but lack of talent hurts us. I think we got addition by subtraction when you're talking about the front office, when you're talking about the coaching staff. But more than that, you got veterans that maybe aren't the star-studded cast, but you got Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder halfway through the year, Tim Hardaway Jr. These are all guys that help raise the floor of your young guys, because with the lack of shooting before, you couldn't do anything. And I mean, they've been allowed to do their thing, but JB Bickerstaff has made it so those veterans are playing the Detroit-style brand basketball, letting the young guys who are elite at defense lead us to a high-level defensive team. So, I mean, the lack of talent did not hurt us this year. There's going to be a lot of play-in talk in this. We blew that out of the water, so that's really good to see. I mean, we see Cade All-Star averaging 26, 8, and 5. He averaged 26, 9, and 6, so 1 over on each of those numbers, pretty close there. THJ and Stu get traded for Ingram. Imagine how awful that would be. I mean, that put us in a really similar situation to the Raptors, where they're now locked up with a lot of their contracts, with Ivy coming up, with Duren coming up, Asar the year after, then you have Ron the year after that. I mean, money would get really tight if we would have done something like that. Stu's on a pretty good contract. People were complaining about that the moment it happened. I can say I honestly thought it was a little too high for what he did, but Stu's impact is really seen when you're talking about a team that is competing, a team that's competing for those playoff spots. When you're on the worst team in the league, Stu isn't really going to help you too much. We need at least 3 of the 5 amongst Cade, Duren, Ivy, Ron, Asar to look like the future arriving now. Otherwise, Minnesota is looking at a second rounder, which would mean what they mean by the last of that is if the Pistons didn't make the playoffs and were in the lottery, they'd keep their first-round pick. If not, they would give it up, which is what ended up happening. Minnesota now is the 17th pick in the draft. Good for you, Minnesota. But we saw 3 of these 5 take off. And the other guys in here showed progress. I mean, Cade, Durr, and Asar are being seen as kind of the big 3 of this young core. And I think that when you're talking about Ivy, you're talking about Ron Holland, Bobby Klintman to end the year had a great game. There's a lot of potential in this crew. I mean, that's something that's very exciting. And then somebody else said, I have a $50 bet we finish better than Toronto. So you just won $50, my man. Good job to you. And another really negative comment here from a deleted account, I believe, or that's a deleted, well, it wouldn't be a deleted post or else I wouldn't see it. So deleted account says, I think they get around 20 wins again and are the same team they've been. Hate to say it, but I don't see much changing with who they brought in. The young talent isn't very talented either. And like we already mentioned, the young talent wasn't put in a situation where they were able to play their brand of basketball, where they weren't able to succeed. When you put these veterans around them, allowing you to space the floor, and veterans that put effort in on defense, even if they're not the greatest, everything started to click. I mean, this team has a lot of talent, especially with their young guys. So that comment is, can I give that a downvote? Oh, I have to log in. I'm not doing that. And this is the last one we're going to look at. Ron Holland gets Sugg-like buzz for his defensive play. Thompson returns and helps form a pretty decent defensive starting unit. Check there. Ivy makes the All-Star squad as an injury replacement. I don't think that was going to happen unless they got a top 3 seed, because you're talking about getting 2 All-Stars from one team. That doesn't happen when you're not in the top 4 at least. And then scores 11 points in the game. Oh, he's just saying 11 points in the All-Star game, so nix that one. But Ron Holland getting Suggs-like buzz for his defensive play. He has not gotten that, but he has shown that he is one of the best motors in the NBA, in some of the best aggressiveness. And when you put that all together, he's become a really good defender. He's not Asar Thompson level. And I think Asar has been the one to climb into those ranks. But yeah, my prediction, and I mean, we started making content on this channel, long-form content, in February, right around the trade deadline. But coming into this year, I was optimistic, but maybe getting 28 wins was probably my max. Just looking at what we had, what we added in, unsure about JB Bickerstaff at the time. But they've proved that wrong. In hindsight's 2020, and I wish I could have had the vision to kind of see how it could have all fit together. But so many things had to go right for this to happen, and they all did. So kudos to this team, kudos to the staff, getting to 44 wins, and I believe they're going to get a playoff win. I mean, they're going to break that long streak. Is it the longest drought in the NBA without a playoff win? But, I mean, we're talking about a historic time coming up for the Pistons. And we're going to be here to watch it, making more content. Like I mentioned before, check out the 313 Connect podcast with Brennan Sims, myself, and Sean Murphy. But we'll be back soon with more Pistons content. Talk to you later.